Hello, Inspired Women, Amazing Lives blog post. What an impact your story can make. So, have you ever gone to a conference and people were allowed to come to the microphone and share about their life experiences? And have you ever not been one of those people and you would just sit there and think to yourself as you're hearing these stories, oh my gosh, so traumatic. I don't have anything like that this year. Well, I know about that because I have been one of those people. That was me. And the way I would think when I would go to conferences like that and I would hear people tell portions of their stories, I always felt like my story would be less impactful or less meaningful because it wasn't a tale of some big personal, physical, or mental trauma. So I usually didn't share because, you know, I felt my story wasn't worthy. So yes, just like everyone else, I mean, I have had life experiences. I've had things that occurred in my life. To me at the time, that probably seemed like the worst possible thing ever. But then when I would go places and I would hear other people's story and I would compare it to other people's story, I would think of how blessed I really was because I've not had any of those types of trauma in my life. So, but my point is that we all have stories. We do. We don't think, all of us, we don't think we do, because I've heard other people say the same. Oh, I don't have any stories like that. But we do. And we all have a story, and our stories are our stories, and they serve a purpose. So I believe we have life experiences and tests of faith so that we can share them. That's what I believe. So when the time comes with the right people, so that it provides impact or change in that person's lives, it serves as encouragement, motivation, and a sense of relief, so others will know that they're not going it alone. But most of the time, we are afraid or embarrassed to share our stories with others because we are so focused on ourselves. I know that I felt that so many times, and how that will make us look. We are afraid of being judged. Yes. Well, that used to be the old me, not the new me anymore. Because in my personal life, I don't care about being judged. I really don't. I mean, um, I'm too old for that. But my point is, we should want to share. We should want to share. And here's why. When we share our stories, when we decide to make the leap, share our stories with each other, it creates a two-way benefit. It benefits the other person by being able to know that they're not the only person that has been through that experience and that they can overcome it. It gives that person hope and strength to be able to see past the issue to the joy on the other side of that experience. It benefits me because keeping my story inside only serves to increase the heaviness of that situation for me. Some situations weigh you down for a long time until you learn to forgive yourself for those situations and move on. So it is always freeing to let go and open up, because in that you find encouragement and motivation to continue moving forward. It is like being able to get something off your chest, and feeling that relief. It will help to get you past those feelings of fear and embarrassment and shame, and you will actually begin to heal. It did for me anyway. So I began, when I've had those types of experiences, I would embrace it. I would be able to embrace it in a new light because I've opened up about it and I've shared it. And I can begin to see how there are seeds of goodness that came out of that situation that I may not have noticed initially. When it begins to impact the life of someone else by hearing my story. So it's really a beneficial process. And also for those of you who own a business as well, being able to have a book that tells your story is a way of building connection with your audience. So your audience gets to know you better and they can see how your gifts are being used truly. We talked about this on my podcast this week with my guest and how a book can add credibility to your business and build relationship at the same time. And the last thing I wanted to mention about that is we seem to always forget that we are on a heavily populated planet of people. And it's that way for a reason. We were not meant to be alone or siloed from each other. We are meant to communicate. We are meant to build relationships and collaborate with all the people around us that we know and the ones that we don't know. That is how new relationships are made and new friendships are born. I can't tell you the number of times I've made new friends just from simply reaching out and saying hi and talking to people. That is the way it was meant to be. So whenever you, like me so long ago, start telling yourself the story about your being an introvert and just like being by yourself, think about that one again, because I would tell myself that story for years. That may just be a story that you choose to tell yourself to stay hidden in the shadows and really not put yourself out there and step outside of your comfort zone and share your beauty with the world. It may be a story that does not serve you well. It was for me. So the answer to all of this is to share your gifts. And know you have gifts. We all have gifts and abilities that other people do not have. So my son's friend, who I've known since he was about 13, and he's over 30, he makes this mean red velvet cake. I mean, he really does. It is moist. He makes it from scratch, and it's just the right hint of chocolate. For you red velvet lovers, you know what I mean. And the cream cheese frosting, if it's from scratch, it is delicious. That is a gift for him. It really is. And this is how I know that, because I can't tell you the number of times I've tried making red velvet cakes before and failed miserably. The taste was awful. And I know others. I have met other women who just swear by their red velvet cake. And some of these women call themselves master bakers. And I've tasted their red velvet cake, and I always compare it to his, and I say, this does not taste as good as his. And he's not using anything special. He's just using his grandmother's recipe in my kitchen. And he does that for me every now and then. So I keep encouraging him to use that gift. And I know it's a small thing, but it could bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. And I keep telling him he should make cupcakes and we should pass out these cupcakes. And whether he sells them or not, it would bring joy to people. He could give them away to the homeless. And I think he just has a hidden passion that he won't openly explore, because I know for sure he really likes to bake. So I'll keep working on him on that. But the reason I share that story is because I want to encourage you to open up and share your stories so you can share your gifts. Your stories are tied to your gifts and your passions and are meant to be given away. Have you ever thought about writing a book about a part of your story that's been weighing on your mind? Well, stop thinking about it. Just do it. It's as simple as picking up a pen and paper and starting. I know I have several stories inside of me, whether they're traumatic or not, that can impact someone else, the lives of others. And it has been taking me a while to put them on paper, but I'm doing it slowly but surely. And as a matter of fact, I have a devotional book that's coming out in early 2020. It's a devotional meant for women dealing with life and business. And don't worry, I'll let you know when it's available for sure. My podcast guest this week, Candace Davis, who's an author coach, she gave me a lot of good tips on how to do just that. So check out this week's podcast episode. And we talk about some of my struggles on there, and she gives coaching right there on the line. So things that I can do to overcome some of those challenges. Writing a book is a chance for you to learn how to put your story to use to help others and not just keep it inside and let it weigh on your mind. Doing that, being able to put it out there could very well change your life as well. You never know. So are you looking for ways to stretch yourself and to share your story with other like-minded individuals so they can start to impact the lives of others? So I've got 2 fun ways in this week's blog for you to do that. First, I have a link in there for you to check out a free gift that I created to help you in creating a new and fun opt-in for your website. That will help to serve you well by you sharing your gifts with the world and giving you an opportunity to share your story. Then I want you to check out my friend Kelly McCausey's Stretch Yourself Challenge. We have already started it, and we are over in her Facebook group, Love People Make Money. I so love that title, don't you? We've already started the actual challenge, but there's a link there in the blog post where you can get all the details, and it's a self-study version. You won't be able to join in the challenge and create the points. She's done something really cool and fun with teams and points, and it's just really nice. So you won't be able to join in all that, but you can join the Facebook group and follow along with the self-study and still comment and participate and get in all the excitement with the other like-minded women. All right, that's my blog this week. See you next week. Bye.